And we are live here on the Independent Investor Channel. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. Happy Friday to each and every one of the loyal patrons to the channel. I'd like to take this opportunity and welcome each and every one of you guys, and also invite you, if you have other better things to do with your time, I would invite you to sign off now. Go ahead and do whatever it is that you do that's more important than sitting and wasting your time with me. Okay, I'm not going to fluff your hair for you. I'm not going to do your nails to you, and I don't do petties. Okay, I am the same ornery fella that comes on every single week. I'm much more sharp and much more evolved than I was 6 years ago when I started this project. And for those of you guys who don't like my abrasive attitude, you can go to hell. It's just that simple. Go find something else to do. Okay. Before social media, you had to find something else to do. Now, if you're playing guitar and you're doing things, like spending time with the family, and doing those things that I do when I'm not on social media for the 1 hour, great. That's fantastic. The one common denominator that I have between myself and the subscribers of the channel is that every decision that you make has to be done with an individual mindset in play. And I think that's interesting. I think a lot of people have interesting expectations when they come onto a social media channel, and they expect to be guided, or they expect to be provided some piece of information that's going to somehow pull them out of being a complete idiot. It's going to change their life, maybe even go so far as to find that love of their life. And they're having trouble doing that. So they tune into social media to supplement all the deficiencies in their life. I'm here to tell you all that's horse shit. Okay. So all you detractors to the independent investor channels, you pussies can just piss off. All right. I don't need this. That's what makes me cool and makes me different. You think it's a waste of time to sit here for 60 minutes with me? Go do what it is that you need to do. Go make love to your wife. Fantastic. That's much more important than sitting across from me. Okay. I do it all the time. All right. I have all kinds of cool, fun things to do. It's a long week. I had one of the most fulfilling weeks that I've ever had through my job, my employment, right? And I think for a lot of people, perhaps maybe they're looking for that diamond in the rough on YouTube to show them to the promised land, show them how to get the easy riches, show them how to not only build the yellow brick road, which is what they want me to do for them, but they want me to walk it for them. Kiss my ass. All right. I've worked super, super hard in my life. I've been in situations that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy in my life. And I tell those stories to let people know, look, man, your time to pay attention has come and gone. If you're over 18 years old, you were probably a lot just as stupid as me from 18 to 25. I was a complete moron. Okay. I worked really, really hard. I had my head up my ass. Most people never pull it out. I did pull it out eventually. Okay. That's what happens to you when you get older. I wouldn't do anything over again. That's for sure. My channel's all about life lessons. If you feel like you can watch How to Get Rich on Netflix, which I found interesting, they staged a couple that makes over 100,000, and the financial planner shows up at their house and walks by the Tesla and walks into this beautiful house. She makes $24,000 and spends $27,000 a month, and somehow he's going to go in there and work that magic. You know what I mean? He's going to work it and tool their attitudes so that they can find financial security and happiness in their life. Come to find out, he sits down and realizes they're both unhappy as hell. They both hate each other, and they're both a couple of morons. Unfortunate part about it is they brought a couple of children into the scenario. All right. Don't find financial security. Go find a nice spouse that you're happy with. It'll pay off way more than any of the millions of dollars that you're pursuing on a day-to-day basis. Insofar as you'll come in and you'll throw tomatoes at a guy like myself and hate on a guy like myself, you don't know who I am. I'm the same fellow that I started YouTube on. The interesting part about YouTube is a lot of people think that they know me. You don't. You don't. I implore you, go find out about yourself. Okay. This show is about independent thought, not buying into the masses. Okay. The stock market investing is in the dumps 2023. I look at my portfolio at $462,000 and 60 cents, and I realize that maybe there's people out there that have it a hell of a lot worse than I do. Maybe people need to hear that stuff. I don't know. But I got accused this week. I got called out, and again, I'm a puncher, so I punch back. You know what I mean? I think it's funny. I think it's funny that people waste their time actually doing that to me. That's what I think is funny. And I think that's funny that they don't say it to my face. As a matter of fact, here's an invitation. Let me throw an invitation in here. I'm going to copy it now. I'm copying it, and there it is. You guys can show like this isn't a robot. All right. I'm a real person. You cut me open, I'll bleed. But boom, there it is in the bottom of the chat. There it is. It's like a big secret that I come on every single week and I kick the door open for people, complete strangers from abroad, other countries, here domiciled in the US. Here in the US, the opportunities are abundant, okay? For me, I'm looking at the landscape right now. It's a little bit frustrating. I just think overall, if I'm going to give you my synopsis on the stock market, we're post-COVID. We're post COVID and we've run into some rocky ground. Did you expect that the stock market was just going to take off after one of the most horrific global pandemics to hit mankind? Is that what you expected to come out of this all roses and just put a few $1,000s to work and end up in the promised land? I don't expect that. I don't expect it for you. I'm sorry if you expect it. I'm certainly sorry for you if you expect it and you get pissed off at me that it's not happening for you. Sorry. Furthermore, if you think that I'm somehow like going out on a limb by investing in highly on holdings, I'm fine. Okay. Some of you guys are losing sleep over owning 100 shares. I own close to, if not over 20,000 shares now. I'm totally fine. Totally fine. A relatively small position when you look at it in comparison to the total overall portfolio. And the reason why I suggest that is what I've done is downright remarkable. There's people who make all kinds of money. Again, get rich, I think, or How to Get Rich on Netflix, right? Catch that. It's entertaining. I've stomached the first 15 minutes of the first episode. And interesting. He's doing the same thing that I do through YouTube free of charge. And again, the crackers who wanted to come in and spit venom to a bunch of other people, not me. Again, the invite is right there, man. If somebody wants to pop into my studio, you'll pop in right next to me and I will come on and I will shut my trap. That I promise you. I will drink my Crown and Coke and I will be quiet and you can tell me everything that I'm doing wrong with my life and how I need to adhere to what it is that you adhere to and the values that you value in your life. My thing about it is, look, man, start a YouTube channel. All right, come save the world. Okay, save the world. Let them know those secrets to life that you feel so obligated to come and save people on. All right. Stuff like this, man, I've gone through a few phases when the stock market starts to grumble a little bit and it gets a little bit cranky. For the most part, since 2020, for me, monitoring the stock market's been pretty horrendous place to be. There's fits and starts. Stock market will go up one day, it'll come back off. I'm slowly drifting north, which is totally fine with me in the short term because I just don't think things are that good right now. I really don't. I think the market is tipping on this idea that potentially we are done, if not maybe another 25 basis points away on another interest rate hike. But we're closely monitoring the real estate market that I, for one, monitor and think that is absolutely asinine. I spoke with a colleague of mine just this week who was in between a $500,000 or $600,000 offer on a house outside of Savannah, Georgia. It was under contract offer accepted, and a hedge fund came right over the top with a $600,000 all cash offer, bought the house right underneath of a nose. And my colleague, I would root for my colleague 10 times over and twice on Sunday. All right. This hostile takeover that's going on right now, begs this idea that maybe people need to take on a little personal responsibility. That's what they need to do. All right. I'm right. You can disagree with me all you want. You can spend your time pissed off at me, irritated about my abrasive attitude. That's totally fine. I come on here. I wish I could come on and talk about all the cool stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm too busy fighting and swatting fleas all the time, man. And the world is full of them, man. You think that this world can actually exist? If you listen to what I say about personal finance, a ton of people could end up much more financially successful than actually adhering to what it is they think they know, or what it is they've been taught that they know, or what it is that society thinks they need to know. Look, you come in here and you expect something of me. You expect a really good looking, like clean shaven, beautiful, like suit tying fella. And I know my buddy, my buddy Robert's in the group here, man. It's great to see you with investing and entrepreneurship. That was one of the coolest pieces of content that I actually reviewed this week. I thought, oh God, one of my guys is covering me. I've had some pretty interesting reviews. I've had some scathing reviews. Some people don't like me. That's fine. And I've got pretty tough skin. But I watched the video and I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate, man. That's pretty darn accurate. He did a pretty good job, and he hasn't known me that long. He's a good guy. He's throwing down. He's doing some good product. He's really well polished. I think he got some criticism this week about not being able to speak good English or something. I just like, Jesus Christ, get used to it, man. Social media is it's the wild kingdom. People, you're never going to make everybody happy, but I just find it funny because I'm the same badass dude I've been since I'm 15 years old. Like I'm kicking that ass on life. And I don't have some idea that somehow that kick-ass attitude is going to render itself or materialize into something special. I know it will. Now, if it doesn't happen, all right, you can all come on and say, "Ah, you're free, full of it, Ryan. You're this and that and this and that and this and that." You think I'm crazy enough, man? I'll die tomorrow, pass my legacy on to my kids, and be completely fine with that. I'm totally fine. What I've been able to render 462,000.60 as of last count. I came on and did the calculations tonight about how terrible the stock market is and whether or not it's time to give up on the stock market and whether or not it's time to buy into the world is spinning off of its axis and therefore retail investors need to throw in the towel. I saw something come through CNBC on my 10-minute free preview, watching it this afternoon. Microsoft and Google and Meta are up for earnings next week. Should you buy before the earnings report? This is the shit that they're selling to people now. If you want to buy those good companies like Amazon and Google, just buy them, hold them for the long term. Nobody talks like that anymore. There's a reason why long-term investing, which is proven to build wealth, even though you look at it in the acute times like this, and it appears as if, like, what the hell am I doing? This is a complete and utter waste of time. I've been through this many, many times. Okay. I have been through it many, many times, and I have bought into this idea that buying and holding the markets is better than trying to buy in and out of the markets. Okay. Now I'm looking at, I just saw Freeman pop in, man. It's great to see Freeman. Some of these content creators is funny where I get a little bit of tilt in the scale on one end, you know, it gets a little heavy on the bullshit through social media. And then I got these guys like investing in entrepreneurship, and I got guys like Freeman Jones here in the group. And I tip my hat to you guys. I mean, you guys should come in here one of these Fridays, man. Make a point to come in. He says, "Good to see you, Ryan, keeping it real and honest." That's what it's about. Here's the funny thing, Freeman. You know as well as I do, okay? You're out there in the field. I'm out there with my hard hat too. And I think I commented on your hard hat in one of your videos. And I was like, there's a lot of people out there like this guy. Okay. Now there's only one Freeman Jones in the world, just like there's only one Ryan. But I tell you what, man, in my meeting of people, and I meet cool, cool people, man, all the time. I just met some this week, man. I was in Manhattan and Brooklyn. I was all over, man, out in Jersey. I mean, all kinds of just crazy, crazy, freaking cool people, welders, engineers, shipwrights in the shipyards, man. I was in a museum the museum was 112 years old just today, on the water museum. Yeah. Owner and his wife lived on the boat. That's cool stuff, baby. That's cool stuff, man. I'm sitting down at the table, man. I look over his shoulder and there's the Statue of Liberty on the bay. And I'm like, look over your shoulder. I know you know this, man. This is pretty cool. Look at that, man. You've got a $30 million view for your right. Yeah, he's like, yeah. It's all right. It could be worse, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and inspect the boat. Let me know if you need anything. It's like, man, alive. This is pretty awesome. There's a lot of really, really cool people out there, and I hate to focus on the negative, but I like to put that right in front people's face, man. I really do. I don't think I'm rude. I made a comment in the Discord group. It got everybody up in arms because I was going to go and engage in some activity with my wife that I've been with for 18 years. You know how many times I've engaged in that opportunity? Yeah. My point was, look, I'm going to go do something more important with my time, and they were attacking me because somehow everybody needed to like save themselves from me and not waste their time sitting for 60 minutes on a Friday evening, and they've got more important things to do with their time. Do you really? You got more important things to do? Look, if you do, you got a sporting event to go to, man, go do that, ass man. If you want to go and you want to freaking hit the bar and you want to run up a $250 tab, go do that, no problem. But there's people out there, man, that actually take a moment to sit back, chill out, watch my channel. I'm about as real as it freaking gets. I don't watch other channels because they piss me off. They're fake as fake can be, man. Freaking fake. They're freaking fake. This is not fake. Here's my notes for tonight's live stream. How many of you guys could take 60 minutes and roll it into that? This is my cliff notes right here. Okay? Those are my cliff notes, right? The whole point of it is we're getting through to people. The option's there for you, man. You don't have to watch the channel. You don't have to come in and waste your time with me. You don't have to. The choice is yours, man. The choice is yours. All right. The subscription costs you nothing. Put it in your queue, watch it at another time. I've got people who reach out to me from England and they're like, man, it's awesome. It's awesome hearing perspective from somebody from the States who's domiciled in New York. It's kind of cool to kind of hear what you talk about and get a pulse for what's going on in the United States. That hostile takeover of the hedge funds right now with the real estate, that is alive and well. Nobody talks about it. Okay, nobody talks about it. But in 5 years, the stuff that people want to adhere to and get all up in arms about, let me give you an idea about what some of those things are. Fang. Remember Fang? Fang. Couldn't turn on the TV without hearing about Fang. And Fang. Because invest in Fang. Is Fang a got a Fang? We got to Fang because it sounds really cool. And Fang. Fang. ARK ETFs, greatest thing happening in 2018, 2019. I did a video. I got the most hate through the channel about my scathing review of ARK ETFs. Oh, but Ryan, if they outperform the S&P 500 by 3x, then it makes the extravagant expense ratio good to go. You don't know what you're talking about. ARK ETFs to the moon. My entire portfolio is full of ARK ETFs. Good for you. What happened? They lost 80% of their value. That's fantastic. Right on. Hi, Leon, you suck. Well, I might suck, but I have a position in a company that I believe in, and it's down right now. I can live with that. All right. My entire portfolio wasn't in ARK ETFs when everybody was hyping it, when everybody said that it was okay and that it was an absolute necessity to own ARK ETFs. In Kathy, we trust that Kathy would. Kathy would. What's in Kathy Wood? And Kathy Wood. Now, Kathy Wood projects that Tesla will be at $2,000 a share by 2027. What do y'all think about that? $2,000. Of course it will, Kathy. It's the number one holding in your flagship ARK ETF fund. Of course it's going to go to 2,000. Why not you just say that it's going to go to, oh, well, I've actually heard her say that it's going to go to $5,000 per share, actually. But I think she needs to kind of cool off a little bit and get a little bit more of a conservative estimate. The stock trades now at what, $1.60. There was more put action sold on Tesla this week than ever in the history of the company. Investors are projecting that it go down. And quite frankly, I don't know why it's been elevated this long. It's because there's a bunch of lemmings out there that buy the stock and think in Elon we trust, Kathy Wood and ARK ETFs, and they still believe. And it's like, yeah, okay, you guys remember, right? Tesla's all the boom, right? Right. These fads, man, the fads come and go. Okay. The fads come and go. And look at all of these that I'm jamming into let's say a 3-year stretch. Not even if I go back 5 years, man. Look at all the fads that come and go, easy waves to get caught up in, easy snowballs to get caught up in. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, that's a good one. Bitcoin's recovered pretty good, okay, but we'll start another fad for Bitcoin here. But Bitcoin's been all over the place. AMC, that was a good one. AMC and GameStop. Fantastic. Everybody had to take their entire portfolio, dump everything that they have, and invest it in GameStop and AMC. And I'm like, GameStop, you're kidding me. Every time I walk into GameStop, they all smell the same. You ever notice that odor when you walk into GameStop? You walk in and it smells like a bunch of cases of video games that have been sitting in a living room where people have been reefing it up really, really hard. And they've come into the store and that aroma cannot, like that stench, that musky stench, that's GameStop. And everybody was throwing in their towels of portfolios, man, to jump on the GameStop debacle, man. It was awesome, because it was being shorted, which my company right now is being shorted pretty heavily, and I've chalked them up to be nothing less than rapists. That's awesome too, no problem. Doesn't I'm gonna be a good guy. It's all good. I'll continue to be patient, be a good father, be a good husband, and work hard with my living, which is another piece to my long-term philosophy, which we're going to get into in the back half of the live stream. Like, what the hell are we doing this for? Am I doing this to get on every hype train that comes along? I might be on a hype train right now with Hyliion, but Hyliion is the opposite of a hype train. Like, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the opportunity that could be presented by the logistics need in the space that provides the number one level of pollution right now, in our world. They need solutions out there, and I'm rooting for the solutions. But all the Nikola trucks, the BEVs got recalled this week. That was awesome news. Stock went up. um, Hyliion is nowhere to be found. So if anybody has seen Thomas Healy, please let me know and let him know that he's around. That would be cool. Still invested in the company. The idea is great. It'll be theirs to bastardize and lose out on. But while investor relations is on a vacation for the next year or so, perhaps maybe they'll come back and look to engage in that project. But hey, I'm good to go there. My Aduro Clean Technologies holding is us holding in right there. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the prospects of a company that I believe has solved the plastic problem through their chemistry. And people are coming back and they're demanding. I had a comment tonight. I should share it with you guys. It's pretty interesting. Go to the Aduro video and check the comment. It's like, I need 4 things from you, Ryan. And it's like, you don't need shit from me. Really? Go piss off. Okay. I'll send you a bill. Okay. If we're going to engage in that kind of dialogue, I don't owe you anything. Okay. You owe yourself. If you don't like the company, don't invest in it. I invest in it. I fully disclose what I invest. You don't like it, don't invest in it. I don't care. I don't care what you do. What I care about is my ability to teach you to care. Think about that for a second. God dang, Ryan, that's a novel idea. No, it's really not. And I'm amazed at how we as a people, as a society in 2023, have gotten dumber. We've gotten dumber. We have gotten more stupid as a society. And by 2030, we ought to just be walking around like a bunch of freaking Walking Dead. It ought to be like the episode of The Walking Dead. Absolutely. 100%. A bunch of freaking zombies dragging their freaking legs behind them, bloody and moldy in their faces because they're so stupid they can't think for themselves without plugging themselves into a society that would just have you think one way. And I'm just here to tell you, man, there's no place for it. Life's more fun when you're independent, dynamic, and you think for yourself. It's just that simple. So as long as I've actually chased everyone off, actually to go find something it is that's more important to do with your time, for those devoted subscribers to the channel who are going to stick with me, man, I really appreciate your time. I'll be back with you in a moment. Robert's got a synopsis as well. I think he summed it up a little bit better than me, but yeah, I just didn't really understand the hype when it was all going on. But Yeah, I don't know, man. Pick your allegiances where you will. All right. If I look the part and I talk the part, and maybe if I had, I don't know, ten or $12,000 to throw around, maybe people would deem me a player. But I don't. Evidently, people think I lie about the $500,000 that I'm evidently sitting on, and not losing everything. I'm not going to starve to death. I don't struggle to provide my family with basic necessities like water. Every now and then we get to eat some food. And every now and then we get to provide ourselves with a roof over our heads and maybe even some security, right? I am employed, which is a good thing. So I can provide a little bit of scratch for my family, and provide them some sustenance when necessary, and maybe buy some over the counter Tylenol to help us in time of need when we fall ill. But yeah, aside from that, things are really, really rough because the social media community would have me believe that somehow my life is over, because of what they deem. And I had one comment to the comment, which was interesting. It says a lot about a person through social media in who they are as a person in the comments that they make. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. How about you take that comment, shove that up your ass? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. People like take on a personality on social media. Maybe I do a little bit. Maybe this is the epiphany or the epitome of my actual alter ego. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of cool because it sets it off. Because I think sometimes people come on and they allow themselves to be like something that they always wanted to be. Like they can step outside themselves and they can bash somebody who's obviously confident in what they do. And if you did know me, you would know exactly why that is. I had one of the most fulfilling weeks. This week's had everything to do with my normal employment. It was pretty cool. My social media presence allows me to make a few dollars to support the project, and that helps. But the real comeback for me, and the real payment on the channel itself, is the subscribers, man. Every now and then I come across somebody who genuinely needs some help in kind of understanding and maybe taking that leap of faith and understanding that they can do it themselves. And I'm here to tell you, man, it's super liberating. It's super liberating, and there's nothing in the short term that is going to allow you to say, "Yep, Ryan, I heard you last week, and now we're a week later, and you're the man. I love you." Not gonna happen. Long term, baby. Long term. All right. If you want to invest defensively, do it. If you want to invest aggressively, do it. Totally up to you. You have to understand the ramifications and the protectionisms that exist on either end of those two spectrums. All right. I just so happen to deploy both, and I don't look at them intermingled. I look at them exclusively, in that my aggressive hat is over here and my defensive hat is over here. My fixed income portfolio is over here. I share all of it openly on the channel. But if you learn anything from me, you can help understand that when I'm talking about my aggressive, microcap speculative aspect of the portfolio, it is just what it is. Okay. I own all the passive indexes. I mean, I own the total market. I own the S&P 3 times over in two different capacities. I own VOO in 4 different accounts. Um, I own an index fund that covers the S&P 500. I own VTI. I own SCHD in a strategic location. These products are fantastic products. The small cap offering, the Vanguard's mid cap I own. So the majority of my wealth, to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars, is tied up in passive wealth anyway, right? So if you like that idea and you're a little bit more conservative with your approach, right? The idea is to say, okay, man, I don't know what to invest in. Ryan talks about investing on your own. He just gave me some ideas about dividend investing, VYM, VIG. I own it myself, SCHD, right? And if you could adhere to some of those principles of investing philosophy, then the what to invest in becomes a lot easier to understand. During Robert's review of my channel, when he was kind of going through the portfolios, um, some of those elements have changed a little bit for the better. The portfolios have morphed, and this 462 of wealth is actually spread across about 20 accounts. Okay, so where the review would have taken them all day to do the review, in all fairness, an aspect of the bucket that I have that supplements the portfolio is just a cash bucket. I've got the corporate account, right? Corporate investments, corporate cash, right? I have a bond portfolio, right? That helps supplement the entire whole. I have a speculative account. I have a passive account. I have a large cap growth fund. I have the passive sectors. I have the 100 stock portfolio, which is a really cool portfolio. That sucker has held in quite nicely. It's still paying dividends. And I tell you what, if this market gets a little bit of appreciation, we're really going to enjoy that account. It's a lot of fun. I am finding, if I can just give you those little tidbits and let you know how easy it is to do the thrift savings plan, the 401ks, the M1 finance accounts, which I own three. Okay. They're very easy to own. Anybody can own them. And you don't have to get creative to invest like me. That can be your portfolio. And you can go on about your time. You can take the information. You can say, I'm a complete idiot. Okay. All the while deploying my system for your own. Take it. It's yours. Okay. Badmouth me on the Discord channel. It's totally fine. Absolutely. Okay. What I find ironic is that you don't have the cojones to come and talk to me directly. Talk to me directly. This is real. This is live. It says it's live 31, 32, 3201, 32. This is live. Okay. And I open the floodgates. Okay. I'm not hiding. I don't hide. You can't hide on social media. That's not the gig. You wear your heart, your soul, your investments, your portfolio right on your sleeve. Okay. And you got people out there that would always have you understand that watching you is a complete and utter waste of time. I totally agree. I totally agree. If you've got your stuff dialed in the way that I've got my stuff dialed in, you can do one of two things. Go start your own YouTube channel and start polluting or helping the world with your noise, or you're absolutely correct. You shouldn't be watching YouTube. Go change the world with what it is that you know. Okay? You already know it all. You don't need any help, but there's a lot of people out there that do. Hmm. It just so happens that I'm really good at instructing and teaching people. I'm really good at it. I can deliver the information in a lot of different ways to make people look at it for themselves, understand the material, make educated decisions on their own. It's that simple. And on this investing topic, I cannot believe the responses that I got on that show. Um, Live Rich, or How to Get Rich, I think is what it's called on Netflix. I really could not believe that people are that stupid. Yeah, yeah. With money, they're stupid, and I can't do a podcast where I sit across from people and I'm like, you're a complete idiot. Like, is this staged? And I can't tell if it's staged anymore. I don't know what's real anymore when I watch TV, or when I watch reality TV, or when I watch. I don't know. I don't know if they're entertaining me. I mean, I watch Walking Dead, and I'm pretty certain it's fake. Right? It's just entertainment value. But those that are posing as a real entity, and evidently this guy's have got 4 million podcast subscribers, all coming in and waiting their turn to find the promised land. And I'm here to tell you, it's a lot easier than that. It's a lot easier. We're going to discuss credit discipline, and we're going to discuss maybe cutting back on spending, and we're going to talk about a mutual respect for money amongst the spouses. It's like, how do people not listen to that and become patronized? I mean, they watch me and they're polarized, but I watch that stuff and I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe there's morons out there that really don't understand this. And they make twice as much as me, twice as much. This lady made a grip. She made close to $30,000 a month in software, I think, software engineering. She made a grip of money. Um, but guys like myself, and I've heard Robert talk about it a little bit, just because you make money, it doesn't mean that you're entitled to anything, you know? And maybe it's that. And that's the sense I got when he was doing the cross interview, sitting on the couch across from this couple. It was almost like, he asked, do you have separate bank accounts of the couple? And they were like, yeah, they didn't want to admit it. And it's like, are you even married? Just get a divorce, man. Go do your thing and you go do yours. You're obviously, that's all you care about is money. You don't care about your husband who's raising your two kids so you can go out there and raise the money. And it's like, they're struggling with the gender roles, and in today's society, right? Women want to go kick that ass just as much as the men do, right? So, like, what do you want to do? You want to raise a family, or you want to have it all? Like, we got to have it all. We want to have this dream life. And it's just like, Jesus, most people are just a complete disaster. But yeah, some of these debacles, man, that we talk about in the last 5 years, some of these hype trains, man, Coinbase, the newest one is inflation, right? The global conflict, right? The war in Ukraine, supply chain issues, right? Things like that. And I don't know. When I come in and I infuse the YouTube audience through the Independent Investor channel, it's really just to focus on the long term perspective. And a lot of people just don't get that vision. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. They don't understand that I'm trying to take something that really belongs in a multi-year explanation and give progress reports every week. And people would say, oh, dang, Ryan, how do you do that every week? It's just a progress report. It's 60 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'm almost done with the live stream. Didn't seem like it went very fast. No, it's why I deem it the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. That's why, because it's a status report on something that is a lifelong devotion, right? And if people can get that into their minds and think, you know what, Ryan's right. I'm going to invest for the long term, no matter what. No matter what. Ryan, are you worried right now? Ryan, you're really going out on a limb. Really? Define going out on a limb, please. Define how it is that maybe the 462 turns into 442 in a couple of months, or maybe we go into recession and maybe it turns into 4.25. Boy, I tell you what, I'm going to come on and really expect your sympathy then. I tell you what, absolutely. We're really going to be scraping by. We will be waiting in the bread line. Yep, we'll be really hurting. But what about the flip side of the coin? You see, everybody's talking now about recession and the world going to hell. And there you I mentioned a Fang. I haven't heard Fang in 2023, not one time on CNBC. Haven't heard anything. ARK ETF sometimes gets mentioned a lot more because they're still caught on this Kathy Wood thing. Tesla, Bitcoin, AMC, GameStop, Coinbase, inflation, war, supply chain. Then I shared with you, what to expect out of tech earnings next week, which is actually quite a significant week for tech. I think it's going to be hopefully a coming out party and a leading of the market higher, if tech surprises to the upside. But the question was, what should you buy before tech earnings? You're kidding me. It's a week. What, a week? You're actually saying that to millions and millions of people. So for the 43 people in here, I'm not causing any harm whatsoever. All right. These 43 people have elected to come in, yak with me. Maybe they hear something. Maybe I offend some people, and maybe they find something that they can deploy and put to work in their own life. It's all good. They get the same consistent delivery. Okay. I don't expect myself to come on and be something I'm not. Okay. I don't take my shirt off. I don't let my tits hang out. Right. And I'm actually good looking. Right. So, but I don't do that. I don't need to come on and bag on other YouTubers. I don't do that either. I don't do it anymore. I used to. I used to bag on the people that deserve to be bagged on. Right. And they still do. A bunch of clown puppet freaks. Clown puppet freaks. Their entire freaking life is all about being a puppet on YouTube. They've got hundreds of thousands of drone followers on YouTube, man. It's incredible, man. They're missing out on a life significantly more satisfying than the one that they've carved out for themselves on fake social media. Mhm. Fake social media, man. It's fake. Maybe my detractors are here somewhere. That'd be cool. Yeah, Ryan, keep it real. Enjoy the channel. Appreciate you, man. It's all good. Keeping it real, I guess. It's the only way I know how to be. I really think I come across pretty abrasive. I think I have the ability to really turn some people off. No doubt about it. It's an uncanny attribute of myself. I am abrasive. That's totally fine. And the world needs more abrasiveness. We need to stop being such pushovers. Okay, we need to get a little gumshoe. All right, we need to get a little bit of attitude. All right, retail investors are complete pussies when it comes to engaging in activity. Like, my calling out of Hyliion right now is constructive, and it's all business. All right, and even some of the big heads in the Discord group, I find it interesting, man. Silent alert. I got to give him all the credit in the world, man. I love the guy. Guy seems genuine. I'm a good judge of character. Phenomenal guy. I don't know how he stays on the up. I really don't. Me, I'm like, look, I don't see it, and I'm gonna say I don't see it. Him, he's like, he never gets a response on Twitter, and it's like, dude, he keeps on beating that drum, and it's like, man alive, you're a better man than me. You're a better man than me. I can't do it. That's what makes the world go round. Appreciate the content I put out. I thank you very much. I could not do what you do. All right. Because right now I think they deserve scrutiny. And you guys don't know half of what I'm provided through the channel to give me some insight that maybe we were duped, right? Maybe there was a lot more optimism in the product. We will see. It is a prove it story. Everybody thinks that because we've got a few versions of the ERX floating around out there, that somehow that's going to be the end all be all. No, they got a long way to go. They got a long way to prove it. It's a prove it story, man. You will see what happens. Okay. I think the idea is phenomenal. I think it's for Hyliion to fumble. I really do. I think it's for Hyliion to fumble. All right. I got Artemond in the group. And what advice would you have for low income Black investors struggling to get their finances straight and provide for their families? I appreciate you coming on. I really do. All right. You said a lot in there. Okay. Get your finances straight. You need to live within your means. You have to live within your means. You got a family. I presume you love that family, as I do. I could be broke as a joke. You take my family away from me, you basically cut my head off. All right. You kill me. Right. So you start there. Start with those really, really good things. All right. You talk about being a low income Black investor. I totally understand. Black investors, people in general, I don't typically like to use skin color. I really don't. So whether or not you're black, white, pink, purple, I don't care. I know a lot of people of African American descent, and they're all shades of black. Okay. I had a really, really good friend. I was like, where are you from? Like South America or something? He says, no, I'm from Guatemala. you know, and it's like, dude, yeah, exactly. Check yourself. There's all different shades of black and brown and white and me. Look at me. I'm a polka dot freak, right? So, if we can all kind of laugh at that a little bit, then we can get beyond the race piece. But you're right about the low income piece. Right now, the middle class, my friend, is being carved out. All right. So if you want to know my secrets about building wealth, start with what you can start with. Okay. If you're coming to the Independent Investor channel and you drop a comment like that, which is sincere as hell, I wish you could come on and talk to me. It's sincere as hell, but start with what you can start with. Okay. I really would look at either the total market, which is kind of a no-brainer way of entering into the stock market. I own it myself. I'm not going to say it through social media, but we're going to talk a little bit of code right now. And I'm going to offer you a couple 3-digit ticker symbols, and I'm going to hit enter. That's my response to you, my friend. So we're going to talk in code here. The first one is the total stock market index. Okay, it covers small, medium, and large capital companies. It's from Vanguard. It has an expense ratio of 0.03. If you're interested in talking about talking or listening to a professional, which I am not, I'm just your friend through YouTube, and I'm just a badass and a cool freaking dude who talks it straight, right? No matter where you come from, socioeconomic, your ethnic background, it doesn't even matter, right? But check out J.L. Collins, okay? So we're going to speak in code again here. J.L. Collins, I believe it's two L's. There you go. That's for you as well. JL Collins, put it into Google and watch the 50-minute video where he talks about VTSAX. VTSAX is the same equivalent to the one that I spoke in code there on, that I own myself, and I also own the latter. The other one is the S&P 500, okay? If you start an account with a broker of your choice, you can start that broker anywhere you want, whether it be Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, if your wife works. If she doesn't work, think about starting the account. Myself and my wife, we do everything equal, okay? She has an account, I have an account. Start the Roth IRA for yourself. If you're low income, you are eligible to take that. If you could do $100, my friend, if you could do $50, if you could do $25, and you might be thinking, gosh, Ryan, you know, that's kind of crazy. I'm not asking you to do something that I didn't do myself. $25, man. Ask yourself, you can do it. If you came onto the channel and you were sincere about the question, that is what you need to do. Prioritize why you're doing what you're doing, why you're investing. Now, the elephant in the room in this whole thing is if you have debt, you need to stop and curtail the spending, and you need to overspend to the credit cards to get those whittled down and get those off the grid. You don't need to be carrying credit cards to justify getting along. You need to define what it is that you need in this life, okay? And a lot of people have a really hard time imagining their life without all the libation that they have, imagining their life with all the expenditures that they have. And it's a necessary discipline, my friend, that I can give you a Vince Lombardi speech all day. I can give you a Michael Jordan set of, motivation for yourself. But until you look at it and say, gosh, Ryan hit on a few themes here, there's a few spending things that I think we can maybe curtail. And you're going to have to do it month over month, year over year for a while until it really starts to set in. Okay. I'm 45. I've been doing this since I was 20, 20 to 30, I was a mess in investing. I did everything stupid. What I just broke down for you is the way, no matter what your age is, no matter what your situation is, it's realistic, tangible, and more importantly, it is accurate to lower the fees, eliminate the tax burden that could potentially be bestowed over your money. And every one of those $25 injects that I challenged you to put away will go into a tax protected vehicle for you and your family. I don't know, my friend, if you're low income now, what's the prospect that you're able to save, 50, 75, 100, $125,000 of wealth for the time now that you started and got the empowering message from the channel and entered into retirement with some level of financial security, man. It doesn't matter about making millions. It doesn't matter about what your friends are doing. It doesn't matter about what the hell I'm doing. It only matters what it is that you are willing to do if you can just get the small pieces, have the perspective of what's important, have that framework of mind to just start those accounts and start funding it with that amount that you determine in a tax protected vehicle like a Roth IRA. Okay. For you as an individual, Artemond, and or your spouse, okay, no matter what they are bringing to the table, and you can start that and you can feel better about starting next week and next month and next year on the right foot. I hopefully I got you a little motivated on you. I love these questions more than any other question because you told me an awful lot in one quick comment. You told me an awful lot about you, and I commend you. I really do. It takes a lot of courage to come on and offer something like this. And hopefully my comment to you helped. Good luck to you, my friend. Please visit the channel every now and then, man, and give me an update on how you're doing, because I think what it is that we offered tonight will actually really, really help you get off on the right foot. Make that first $500 of savings. Don't try to do anything outside of what you're capable of doing right now, outside of just making that first start, 500, then to 1,000, fund that up every month and get your start, man. You'll be on your way, and you'll be surprised at how much easier it is than you think it is right now. We as people, man, we don't like to change. We don't like to, we want to hear it from somebody else. And so I take these questions with some level of sacred. There's a sacred element to it, and then you're kind of be trusting me with the words that I'm choosing to help you. And I wish you all the best, my friend. Thanks for coming in this evening. Very cool stuff. No house brands, Ryan, for me. Bullet works great. Oh, you heard me admit to my Crown Royal. Sorry about that. I get it at the exchange really low, and I buy it once a year during Christmas. It's like they give it away for free. But hey, we all got to make sacrifices, right? All got to make our sacrifices in one form or another, man. Very cool stuff. Biden signs executive order aimed at advancing environmental justice. Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. I just think it's the right thing to do. God, I'd like to see this thing stand on its own without the government being involved in it. I'm pretty neutral again with my political, I'm probably have just as many ideas on either side of the fence than most people, and that's fine. I don't talk about it. I don't really care. I think the country's great, and I think the country is defined in the great people that I talk about all the time. Again, electricians, truck drivers, electrician, shipwrights, all the people that I engage with. That's the country. I don't define the country based on like a bunch of lemmings that are sitting back waiting for Washington to sign some agreement for them to have permission to breathe again. But you're right. I think the wave of momentum is heading this way. That's why I think this is a prudent comment. I think we're probably pretty premature on expecting anything of Hyliion during this bridging period. That's what we're in. I called it. That's what we're in. And I'll continue to accumulate and monitor the shares. I'll continue to, watch it. It's just absolutely being raped on right now. It's being shorted, and these people are out there, man. These people are out there. I'm not. I'm not one of them. I'm a good person. And for the hate that I get through YouTube, I just cringe a little bit, and I'm like, man, who are these crackers that are choosing to take that time and point that at me when I'm trying to do the right thing in fighting a system that would just all too often, man, have retail investors, man, lose every single time. I'm trying to fight that. I'm trying to do something contrary to what the institutions expect at least me to do, and I'll probably profit from it. And I'll chronicle the entire journey, no matter how far down the stock gets compressed. Okay, if it goes down to 1 cent or 50 cents or goes back up to $10, it's I'm still going to be the same Ryan, no matter what. Everybody will love me at $10. Everybody hates me now at $1. That's just how people's shallow minds work. That's just the way they want to operate. I can't control that. It's totally fine, man. Nicely done. Very cool. Alan's in the house. He says I'm finally debt free. God, what a good feeling that is. I remember when I got debt free, it was an amazing feeling. It was like I looked at it and I was like, I'm going to pay as much as I can. I'm not going to pay attention to the minimum credit card payment, and I'm going to pay this off until it's completely done. And it's not until you have that impasse in your life where you're able to actually make it happen. I decided to take some money out of my savings and pay off my debt. I didn't want to do it, but I'm glad I did. Now I can save much more and build an empire. Fantastic. I think everybody should kind of look at themselves as a personal empire. I really do. I look at you that way, and I don't even know you guys personally, but look at yourself as I always stay hungry on the program. Always stay hungry. My highly on position doesn't make me less hungry. It makes me more hungry. I think opposite of people. So where you think you understand or try to buy in or exacerbate what you think I'm thinking, you won't get it. You won't get it. I think way differently than you. And where a lot of people who've got 100 shares of Hyliion are just, getting crazy. I'm accumulating shares here and I'm building a position now where a lot of people built that same position 6, 8 months ago and didn't know we were going to go this deep. I held it about 8 to 10 to 12,000 shares for a long, long time. I didn't add to it at all. But right now, on this exacerbated sell-off, I believe we're going to have a short squeeze on the stock, and I'm loading up right now to take the compression to another level. I'm totally fine, and I'm happy to do it within scale, not crazy. You have to understand, I dollar cost average the markets every single 2 weeks to the tune of about $500 or $600 a month. So where our friend came in and he was talking about a starting amount, I gave him where I was when I started, but I've built it up over time and I've just prioritized and felt confident in the program that I've put into place. And you're not going to have that confidence and validation within a week or a month or 6 months. It's not going to happen. You got to do it for multiple years. You got to make it a life's discipline. That's what you got to do. If you don't want to do that, don't look at it like quitting cigarettes. You quit for 3 days and then you start telling your friends how you've quit, and then you start up again. It's not like that. You have to be kind of addicted to this idea of saving and investing and looking to put strategic bets there on the table for yourself and for your future. I mean, take a little chance, man. It's not that's what life is all about. I saw a Twitter feed come through or a Facebook feed where a young African boy was underneath of the water that they had provided to his village, and they were splashing on his face, and the kid just like gravitated like a magnet down there because he wanted to drink so bad. And it's like, geez Louise, look at how the only thing on that little boy's mind, man, was to get the water that was being provided to him, because he'd probably gone all of his life and had scarcity in the one thing that we take for granted all the time, and that's the availability of water on demand. You know, love your brother, and do what you do with the channel. Just made it to 1,000 shares on Hyliion. I'm done buying unless it hits below one. I think that's a good position. I think you're fine. Stock hits 100, turns into a nice $100,000 position for you. I think that's great. That's a nice six-figure position for you, and hits 10, there's 10,000. That's awesome, man. Without a lot of capital at risk, I think it's really smart. We'll continue to monitor it. It looks like it's going down. Looks like Thomas Healy doesn't give a shit. I don't really care. I'm really sour on Hyliion right now. Really sour. It's typical. It's typical. If I don't make it with Hyliion, I'll make it in one of 1,000 other ways. It's not a problem. All right. It's not a problem. I will retire taken care of anyway. There's no reason to feel sorry for me. I am a lucky person, and that luck, I hate to call it that because I've made my own way based on my own decisions in my life that I've made independently. That's it, and I'm super happy I did. I'm super happy. Some cool advice actually here from Cashews. Live beneath your means. You got to define your means fairly, right? Learn to shop and cook. Very simple, but very prudent advice. I like it. Mitra dates in the house, build wealth, pay off credit cards first. That's prudent. These are my people. Mitra date's been with me for a long time, and it was nice to see some of these frequent visitors to the channel. Dan's been with me a long time too, man. I missed the fastest 120 minutes on YouTube. You remember when I used to do that? Dude, that was fun. That was fun because I spend the first, I'm done. I'm in 2 minutes. I'm going to wrap up the live stream. It just feels like I'm getting going. I will actually do that later on when I have more time, and I'll probably do it multiple times per week because I just think this is the purest way of delivering social media. I think a lot of people could just do the audio piece. I think podcasting is the best way to do this. I really do. But until I can do both media at the same time, which is I should do that too, we'll continue to do the 60. It's what I feel like given right now. A lot of people aren't really interested in the stock market right now. It's down, and people are busy paying for overpriced real estate right now. So I'll let them do that. And then when the stock market picks up, they'll be like, hey, go check this independent guy out. He's the man. He invests no matter what the market does. You should do it too. Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool stuff, man. It's Freeman's in the house. Hyliion is becoming like a compressed spring. If and when the certifications come through, government mandates in play, they already are. Buyers line up when it uncoils. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no buying interest per se in the stock. It's been left for dead along with the SPAC graveyard. And I expect exactly what you say, Freeman, here to happen. And I'm going to be patient until then. I look, man, the technology is not so novel that it's not an idea that I can't get behind and totally understand. This is something that the Hyliion Facebook group talks about all the time. Rick does a really, really good job. He runs that group and he always foot stomps the idea of understanding your company. I understand this company inside and out. I don't understand what they're doing now. I don't understand if there's some negative going on right now that they just feel like they just don't want to share information for some information, some reason. That's got me somewhat curious and interested. And I don't know. Maybe they're just not doing it because they don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'll be there at the end of the year. Perhaps maybe it's a different story at the end of 2023 when we're talking about this story. I just don't know. It's looking like my puts are not, my cash secured, my cash long leaps on the company are not going to materialize. I'm very surprised. It's really, really tough. It's really, really tough to watch what's going on right now with such a great opportunity to the markets and just burning through cash at tens of fifties of hundreds of millions of dollars at a clip, and um, they're down to 400, they're down to 350. They've been burning and they'll just burn it all to zero. And then we won't have to talk about it anymore. Quite frankly, that'd be one of the biggest reliefs I've ever had in my life. I could give two shits about the money. Who cares? I put a strategic risk on the table. I lost. Who cares? Like I said, I'm a winner. I'll win long term. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But I'll be there till the end. If we're gonna burn up, we're gonna burn up with Thomas Healy. That's simple. I mean, I can't believe you could potentially go from um, it. I can't believe you could go from a billionaire to like, a low millionaire and maybe feel good about it. How does your family feel about burning money in Hyliion? I'm not really sure I understand that question, man. I'd re-rack it and come back with something smart. I hate to point you out, man, but it's just a stupid comment, man. Very cool. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you on the live stream. There was a really good group in here, man, close to 50 this Friday. I'm going to end on an up note. I appreciate you with the continued support of the channel. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, for those people that I asked to not attend this evening and go do something more important with their time, I hope the last 62 minutes of their time was spent wisely in another capacity. But I think some people that made their way into the live stream, like Artemond, probably made a difference and probably was provided some information that I don't know has the potential of changing his life. So we appreciate you guys. Appreciate you tuning in to the Fastest 60 Minutes on YouTube. We will be back next Friday on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys, and we'll see you next week.